It was a quiet, starry night as the small spacecraft drifted farther away from Earth. Two astronauts, Jack and Liam, had been part of a mission to explore the outer reaches of our solar system, a mission that was supposed to be routine. They were experienced, trained for everything, from minor malfunctions to sudden cosmic surprises. But nothing could have prepared them for this. The mission was simple: orbit Jupiter, collect data, and return home. However, something went terribly wrong. A malfunction in their navigation system sent their spacecraft off course. They tried everything: manual overrides, recalculations, all their training, but it was no use. Their ship, the Endeavour, was now lost in space, far beyond the reach of any known rescue mission. And their communication systems? Offline. The void of space stretched out before them, an endless, empty black. Jack and Liam floated in the dark silence of their spacecraft, staring at the screens, trying to grasp the reality of their situation. The first thing Jack noticed was how quiet everything had become. The hum of the engines, the whir of machinery, gone. Outside, the universe looked vast, almost too vast to comprehend. The stars that had once seemed so familiar now looked so distant, like pinpricks of light on a massive dark canvas. "How far are we, Liam?" Jack asked, his voice barely breaking the silence. Liam glanced at the control panel. His fingers hovered over the navigation system. "Hard to say. Beyond Jupiter, beyond anything we've mapped. I'm guessing we're millions of miles from Earth." "Millions?" Jack's heart sank. "Maybe more," Liam replied. His eyes met Jack's, both of them understanding the magnitude of their predicament. They were alone, truly alone, floating in the vast, cold emptiness of space. Hours turned into days. There was no way to measure time accurately. Their sleep schedules were in disarray, and the isolation was beginning to take its toll. They had each other, but even in space, where you're surrounded by silence, loneliness could be deafening. Jack noticed how the silence began to gnaw at him. At first, the quiet was peaceful, almost comforting. But the longer they drifted, the more it felt like a heavy weight pressing down on him. He couldn't stop thinking about Earth, about his family, his friends. Was anyone out there looking for them? What if they never made it back? Liam, too, was struggling. He didn't show it at first, always the stoic one, but Jack could see the wear in his eyes, the way he would stare blankly at the stars, lost in thought. Space was beautiful, but it was also suffocating. The deeper they drifted, the more the weight of isolation threatened to overtake them. "We need to keep our heads together," Liam finally said, breaking the silence. "We'll figure this out. Together." Jack nodded, knowing that their bond was their only hope. They didn't have a mission control to turn to, no one to guide them. It was just the two of them, floating in the vastness of space. As days blended into weeks, Jack and Liam focused on survival. They had plenty of supplies, but the clock was ticking. Oxygen, food, water, all of it would eventually run out. They'd practiced survival training on Earth, but here, in space, the stakes were much higher. Every decision they made had to be precise, calculated. Liam checked their life support system again. "We've got enough oxygen for about 2 weeks, maybe 3, depending on how carefully we ration," he said. "Water, a little longer. But after that, we'll need to find a way to survive." Jack tried to stay calm. "We're not going to run out of time," he said, though even he wasn't sure he believed it. "We just need to think clearly." They worked in silence, maintaining their ship, checking their suits, and trying to keep a hopeful mindset. They knew they couldn't survive forever in their current situation, but maybe, just maybe, there was a chance. Then, one evening, something changed. Liam was working on the communication panel when a faint signal blinked on his screen. At first, it was barely noticeable, just a brief flicker of static. "Jack," Liam said, his voice sharp with excitement. "I think I've got something!" Jack rushed over. "Is it a signal from Earth?" Liam didn't answer immediately. He adjusted the frequency, trying to clear the static. Slowly, the faint signal grew stronger. "It's a signal," Liam said again, his voice filled with disbelief. "It's coming from a space station nearby. We've got to be close." For the first time in what felt like an eternity, Jack felt his heart race with hope. A distant signal. It wasn't a guarantee, but it was something. Maybe a nearby station, maybe another spacecraft. Something. They worked frantically, adjusting their equipment, trying to send a distress signal back. Their situation was dire, but now there was a glimmer of light, a tiny beacon of hope in the endless night. The signal grew clearer with each passing moment. Jack and Liam, working together, were able to send a response. They didn't know who was out there, or if help was even possible, but they had to try. The clock was ticking, but for the first time, they didn't feel completely alone. Days passed, each one more uncertain than the last. But then, a voice crackled through the radio. "This is the Aurora," a calm voice said. "We've received your distress signal. Hold tight, we're coming for you." Jack and Liam exchanged a look, one that said it all. They weren't alone anymore. There was hope.